You love your car, but does it love you back? Introducing the Fasten Rewards Visa Card. With the Fasten card, you get rewarded for all your auto-related spending, including monthly car loan or lease payments. That's 3 times points when you shop with Fasten partners, 2 times points on car payments, gas, tolls, insurance, car washes, and 1 times point on everything else. Stack up rewards and turn them into travel, cash, gift cards, maintenance, or even a down payment on your next car. Founded by a UConn fan. Apply now at fasten.cc/apply and buckle up for rewards. The Fasten Rewards Visa card is powered by High Note and issued by Celtic Bank, pursuant to a license by Visa USA Inc. All cards are subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions apply. Rewards are subject to change. Visit fasten.cc/legal for full program details. UConn football season right around the corner. The past few years we've had some players on, but they've all been on the defensive side of things. So we're switching it up this year. We're going with the offensive side of the ball. And joining me today, we've got quarterback Joe Fagnano, who's going to be joining us not only today, but throughout the season. So Joe, thanks so much for doing this year.
Yeah, thanks, Jared. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I guess let's just start with this one. I know a lot has been made about you getting to come back for another year. How excited are you to get to be starting another year here at UConn?
Um, I wouldn't be here if I wasn't excited. So I think, that's an easy answer. There's a lot of great guys on this team that so I decided that, one more year be cool to play for one more year. When I got that call, I was like, pretty easy decision. Just with Coach Mora and the coaches and the guys that we have on this team. So I'm excited. The team looks good. It's been a hard camp, but a fun camp. I think we've got a lot out of it, and I'm excited to finally step on a field and get an opponent.
Yeah, I know everyone's really intrigued by your decision to come back and just how it all came together. Because I think everyone went into the Fenway Bowl last year thinking that was the last time they were going to see you in a UConn uniform. When did you get the idea that you might have another year of eligibility and get to come back?
I was on the same page. I thought that was going to be my last time in the uniform too. The call back was, I want to say, I don't know, a couple days or a week after the game. I knew there was like rumors, but was kind of just focused on North Carolina at that time,
Yeah.
trying to get a win. But yeah, about a week after I got a phone call, and then it was pretty easy sailing from there. Like I said, I mean, I've had a bunch of questions, obviously, about it, so I've answered it a bunch. So the only thing that I can say is that it wasn't that hard of a decision when Coach Moore gave me the call. We had a quick conversation. He thought it was what was best for me, and then after talking with my family and some teammates, just thought it was best.
Yeah. Just to dive into what the off season was like for you a little bit. Take us through just what the kind of just general 6-7 months are like for you in this off season in terms of areas you're working on and what things that would like.
Yeah, try to attack the off season, the same way we do every year. So we get back in. Yeah, I mean, it's a quick turnaround, especially when you're playing a late bowl game. We played just after Christmas there, and then we're here in 3 weeks, and then we're doing winter workouts already. And then you already got new guys coming into the program. So it's a quick transition, and right now, and how college works, it's you're meeting a bunch of new guys. You're trying to get on the same page with different players, guys from different areas. So really, in the spring, you're trying to get everybody back together and kind of see what you have. And that's what we did in the spring. And then you're there and you do spring ball, and then summer comes around, you get a whole new group of guys, you get more guys. So it opens up again, and then that's really when you get your core, because that's who who's going to be there and who's going to be a part of that team. So then the summer workouts, we're just we're here. May's our only month off, so then we're here June, July, and we're grinding. The strength staff is putting us through workouts. Guys are getting in extra work, getting extra throws, catches, and stuff like that. And then before you know it, it's fall camp, and now we're getting ready for CCSU.
Yeah. As you go through that off season, were there any kind of areas of focus on your game that you were really kind of keying in on as you went through, whether it's, some of the winter workouts, fall camp, any of those kind of things?
Yeah, I mean, as a competitor, you're always trying to improve everything. obviously. But I think something that I wanted to, coming back another year, something that I wanted to expand on was, I have a lot of experience. So there's not many things. I mean, there's always certain things that you haven't seen before.
Mhm.
But I'd like to say there's not very much that I haven't seen. So bringing in, just being able to see different things in a defense and then being able to recognize that and process that quicker. I think that was an area of my game that, I tried to improve this year. And then
Mhm.
being a quarterback, you can't be accurate enough, you can't be decisive enough, and then obviously always taking that next step in a leadership role. Those are my big things that I had written down, and I'd like to think that I've succeeded and I've gotten better at those things. But as competitor, like I said, you're always looking to improve.
Yeah, as a quarterback, in talking about that leadership role, what do you think makes for a good quarterback?
It's I don't know if I'm the guy to answer that question, but there's definitely people above me that could answer that. But for me, um, you gotta be able to be a leader, for sure. Because when things go wrong, people are gonna look to you. When things are going right, people are gonna look to you. So you gotta be able to take the good and the bad. That's just the nature of the position. And then you gotta be able to process things quickly. The game moves fast, but if are locked in on your keys and you've studied the game plan, slowing that game down helps a lot. So I think the ones that can slow the game down and know what they're doing and know what certain things, if a defense does a certain thing, they know their answer like that. I think that's what makes a good quarterback, just being able to be decisive and then accurate as well. You got to be able to get the ball in playmakers' hands around the field.
Last year, obviously, a really successful year for UConn football coming off the bowl win. How do you go about building off of some of that success that you had last year and kind of getting that to the next level this year?
Yeah, we've talked about, there's a bunch of sayings where, prior success doesn't mean we're going to be good this year. So that's been the mentality going into this year, and I think guys have embraced that. And um, the only way that we can improve from last year is to work harder than we did last year. I think we've done that this camp, or throughout this whole off season, really from winter workouts, spring, summer to fall. Um, Coach Moore has really put us in pressure situations in practice and challenging us as players, and I think that's been able to elevate us to a new level. And as far as last year, I mean, it's great to have that, but really, it's last year, so it doesn't really get brought up very much in our building.
You mentioned Coach Mora there, so I want you to think back to when you first met him. What was your first impression the first time you had a conversation with him?
First impression was this guy. This guy's intense. Yeah, I think that's the word I would use, intense. But the more you get to know him, the more you realize, he's intense on the football field for sure, and he's got to be. He brings out the best in people. It's another thing that I've learned. He knows, where to push, how to push. He knows, certain things that brings out the best in guys, and I think that's what makes him such a good leader.
Yeah, what have been kind of some of the key lessons you've learned getting to play for him now the past couple years?
Um, Really, the one that kind of always sticks with me, I mean, there's so many, but is just every play is the play. I think, adapting that to my mindset from him is just really simply what it means to me is that like every play, you don't know when that play is going to happen. It's not necessarily the one on fourth down in the fourth quarter. It's the one on second down in the first quarter. That's how you got to play every play. And then really, just transition that into life. Like everything that you do, because Coach Moore's always trying to make us better players on the field and off the field, but everything you do, you got to make it like, do your best at it.
I got one more question on Coach Moore, and then we'll jump to some other stuff. But I know you mentioned his intensity, and maybe he's not quite as intense off the field. But what's something about Coach Moore that you've gotten to experience from being around him that the fans might not know about him?
Um, Something that you guys don't know about. I don't know. He's got a story for every situation, every practice, every player. So he's just always full of, stories. I mean, but I don't think that's something that people wouldn't know. I mean, the guy's been coaching for a very long time, but I think that's something that's noticed to me. He'll have stories about Jerry Rice and how he practiced, and there's all these legends. So that's always cool to hear from him.
Definitely. Another guy that's obviously big on the staff that I'm sure you're working with quite a bit is Coach Samus as the offensive coordinator. What does he bring to the game here?
Um, I mean, what? Yeah, he's another intense again. It comes to the word. He's very uh, I don't know. Yeah, intense on the field. Something that he always says is that we're chasing perfection, but you're never, quite going to get there. But that's what you're chasing.
Hmm.
So that's something that he said that has stuck with me. But he's really good at slowing the game down for me, talking through, especially getting protections, run schemes, why we're doing something. Because if you don't know, why we're running a certain play or what we're looking for on a certain play, that could be kind of alarming for a QB. But he does a really good job of tying it all together and getting me to, my eyes in the right spot. So he kind of helps slow the game down and just lets me process it that much faster.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the offense a little bit. I mean, obviously the offense this year comes pretty stacked with a lot of returners. What's it like as a quarterback to just know you've got a bunch of weapons at your disposal, especially when you look at wide receiver, running back rooms? Again, pretty stacked.
It's a great feeling. It's awesome. Yeah, you got Shamor, Skyler, Mel, Cam, new guys coming in, got younger guys stepping up. So there's a bunch of, I can keep naming names. There's just, having those guys out of those skill positions makes my job that much easier. I know it's just my job to put them in the right position and get them the ball as fast as I can, and let them be explosive and let them make the plays. And really, I mean, it's as simple as that. It makes when you don't have playmakers, it makes it tough. But luckily enough that, we do, and hopefully we can get the ball to them this year.
Yeah, I know a lot of the UConn offense has been based around really just establishing a strong run game. How does that benefit you as a quarterback to have such a strong running game?
For sure. When if you can't run the ball, then you're only dropping back. I mean, the defense is going to know that, and they're going to, play a thing a certain way. So being able to play off the run game and play action and nakeds or anything that we do just makes the pass game that much easier. And vice versa for passing. If we can't throw the ball, they're going to stack the box and they're going to make it, so we can't run the ball. So you got to have, be able to complement each other off of that. So having a good run game definitely helps the pass game.
Yeah. Also having some running backs who can catch the ball and just make a lot happen after it. How impactful is that? Maybe you just throw a quick screen and the next thing you know is taking it 80 yards down the field.
Yeah, those are the best ones. Those are the best. That's what I always tell Cam. I'm like, dude, I throw you the ball for 3 yards and you just go score 70-yard touchdown. Like that's
Yeah,
the
there you go.
best possible scenario. But that's it's great to have, Mel, Cam, Vic, MJ Flowers, these guys that can just make plays with the ball in their hands. So we're always looking for different ways to get them the ball, whether that's spreading them out, handing the ball off to them, just being creative in the way that we can get them the football.
Looking at the receiver room a bit, obviously got to play with some of these guys last year. I know Skylar mentioned you coming back, made him excited about coming back to UConn. What's that relationship like that you've got with him?
Um, it's competitive. We both want to be as good as we possibly can. So, between me and Skylar, sometimes, it's like, we're both angry that we missed a route, or we're both, you know, upset that, we didn't get a certain look. So it's great because he's always pushing me to be better and I'm pushing him to be better. But it's a good relationship. Having a guy like that that's just so competitive and wants to win so bad and wants to do anything in his power to help the team to win. You feed off of that. And again, he makes plays in crunch time when we need him to all last year. So having him be able to step up and knowing that you got that security blanket, on third down or in a critical situation that you can find Skylar Bell and get him the ball and know that he's gonna make a play.
Just like Alex, grilling season is back. And while our favorite team reloads, it's your turn to load up the grill with Martin Rosol's, the best meats Connecticut has to offer. Since 1928, Martin Rosol's has been crafting top quality hot dogs, kielbasa, and sausages using original recipes and only the finest ingredients. So as the warm weather returns, remember, both championship teams and great cookouts start with the right lineup. Look for Rosol's at your local grocery store or stop by their retail store in New Britain. And now, back to the episode. We've talked about some of these position groups and how loaded, competitive they are. I mean, the quarterback room's the same. What's it like getting to work with that group of quarterbacks, not only competing against each other, but just also learning and helping each other grow throughout the season?
It's great. We got a great QB room. We have a lot of fun in there. And then it's competitive at the same time. You know, me, Tug, Nick, Kason, new freshman in.
Yeah.
Great. We gel really well together. Practice is great. Watching film is great. You know, we watch film together all the time. But being able to, learn from one each other is a big thing from us too. Guys always, might see things different ways. I might see coverage one way, and Tucker might see it a different way. And talking through those little nuances of the game always
Mhm.
helps. Just seeing, seeing something from somebody else's point of view always helps. And that's why, on game day, whoever's out there, we're always, we got each other's back because, we put the work in for each other and for have that opportunity out on the field.
To take us a little bit inside the quarterback room when you're kind of looking through a game prep week. I'm not sure how much you've started. I know we're doing this a little over a week before the central game, but kind of what's weekly prep like leading into a game in the within the quarterback room there.
Yeah, pretty simply, it's so the first game, first week, we start a little bit ahead, so you get a couple more days. But a typical week is, you play on Saturday, whether you play in the morning or at night,
Mhm.
and then you win on Saturday. Clear, obviously.
Yeah.
Sorry, I gotta pop up here. And then Sunday, you review the film with the QBs of the previous game. So me, Nick, Tug, Kason will sit down, we'll watch the game together. Just see how the game went, just corrections. And then Monday, Sunday you might sneak in a game of your next opponent Sunday, and then Monday it's all based down, first, second down we're watching. And then Tuesday we're watching third down, and then we're watching red zone on Wednesday, and then we're just watching game flow. That's typically what we like to do.
Mhm.
We'll switch it up every now and again, but that's just what works for us. And we're always just trying to see how games go, certain situations. We're talking each other through it. What certain concepts we like this week, what we think could work, what might not work. Just getting everybody's opinion because having those four opinions rather than one isn't gonna, it's much better.
All right. Diving into the offense a little bit, just what you've been going through from camp. People want to know who's a guy who might surprise on the offensive side of things that maybe that's kind of flying under the radar a little bit.
Um, there's a couple that jump to mind, so I'll give you a few.
Yeah.
There's everybody. Anybody that you don't know. We got so many good players. We got in the receiver room, Jackson Harper, Ray Mello, Ty Bowman. These guys that were either young last year and are moving up or transferred in. So those are, new names that I think could really have an impact on this team. And then who else? In the old line room, you got West there at center, and then
Yep.
we got Ty, Brady, Kyle at guard. So those guys are definitely going to have a big impact on us as well. So I don't know how many names that was, but there's a lot of guys that I think could have a major role this year.
And then I'll throw it on the flip side. Obviously, a camp going up against your own guys on defense. Who's impressed you from the defensive side of things?
Um, a lot. We got to get a lot of good players over there too. Damon is a really good competitor. He's always giving you his A game every day. Going up against him is awesome for us. Just seeing that, and then Taekwon TK. He's about as good as they get with just recognizing certain plays. He's really good. There's a bunch over there. A couple, Devin Pringle, he's shown us a lot this year at corner. He's another new one who I think could play a lot. But there's, plenty that I haven't named that are over there that are gonna make plays for us this year for sure.
Yeah, I know everyone's really excited about the roster this year, and I think what you just just a few of the guys you mentioned there are going to get everyone really excited for what's
Cam
to come
Chadwick
this
too.
season.
I can't
Yeah,
forget my man Cam. Cam Chadwick's gonna play this year too. He's gonna be good.
there you go. All right, I'm going to jump to some questions we got from social. These tend to be some of the more fun ones that we get to
Oh
throw.
man.
Maybe take you away from some football stuff, get to know you a little bit more. Um, everyone outside of the football, everyone's excited to be out there next Saturday tailgating. What's your favorite or go-to tailgate food item?
That is a good one. Favorite tailgate food. I mean, so I had one time where it was, I forget what it's called. It's a hot dog, but then you put buffalo chicken dip on top. So
Oh,
that was pretty
okay.
good one time. Yeah, I forget what it's called. I forget what uh, I don't know, but it's a hot dog with buffalo chicken dip on it. So it's good.
All right, that sounds good. This one's also along the food line, and I think it gets asked of every UConn athlete who comes on the pod. Favorite dairy bar flavor?
Oh, Husky Tracks, easy.
It's a common one there.
That's got to
Uh,
be, yeah, that's got to be common.
um, are you a college football video game guy? And if so, do you play as UConn and yourself?
Nah, I'm not a college football. I don't play NCAA football.
Okay, all right, easy
If I
enough.
did, I would definitely play as myself though, and I
Um, one of the fun parts about college football is getting to go to some really cool places, cool stadiums. What's been your favorite road place that you've gotten to go play in?
favorite road place. It's a good one. This past year, where'd we even go? I mean, Duke was a pretty cool one. That was a night game, so that was pretty cool. I think, yeah, Duke. I like the way their place was set up. It was a night game. It was good atmosphere. Duke,
So based on that, is night your favorite time to have a game time for kickoff?
for sure. It brings you back to like Friday Night Lights. It's the
Yeah.
best.
All right, this one's going to bring you back to your roots a little bit. So they wrote in that knowing that you're a Pennsylvania guy, are you Sheets or Wawa?
Oh, Sheets all day.
I've only experienced Wawa, so next time I'm out that way, I'm going to have to give
Yeah, you
Sheets a
gotta
try
try
now.
Sheets.
All right. Let's see what else do we got here. Favorite uniform combination?
Um, I like the I like all white, honestly. I like the
Yeah.
way all white looks. It's kind of crisp.
All right. Are you Team Block C or the Husky mascot logo?
Uh, I'm Husky.
All
Husky.
right. All right. There we go. This one's going back to football a little bit. Biggest change in your game from when you first started college to where it is today.
It's actually what I was going through my camera roll and I saw some videos of me throwing the ball coming out of high school, and I was like, wow, can't believe I even got recruited. So I would say throwing motion. I switched my throwing motion quite severely since heading into my freshman year.
All right. And I'll wrap with this one for you. Just what's it been like getting to be a part of the resurgence here of UConn football and being part of these teams that have brought UConn football, under Coach Mora, really back to a place of relevance and respectability here.
Um, it's been great. When you're winning, it solves a lot of problems. So just being able to be a part of a program that is truly on the rise is great. And I want to look back one day and see UConn being at the top of the game, and I want to be able to say, hey, like I was at the beginning of that where we started something special there at UConn.
Awesome. Well, Joe, I appreciate it. I'll give you one chance here at the end here. What's your message to the UConn football fan base as we get ready to kick things off here in a week?
We got this when's this coming out? We got the home opener in how many days from when this comes out?
Depending on when I drop it, it'll be like within a week. So we got it within a week.
Within a week, pack the rent, and hope to see you there.
Awesome. Well, Joe, I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for coming on it and looking forward to doing some of these throughout the season.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate it.